Yeah. Shut 'em down radio. Shaking world. You know the number 347-850-1177. We on 7 days a week. Send that music to shut'emdown0@gmail.com. Got a good interview tonight. Marc Jefferies. You know him from Notorious, Tracy Morgan Show, Law and Order, SVUER, HBO, Treme. A lot of good things, man.
Oh, yeah, what's going on? It's Marc Jefferies.
Yo, what's good, fam? How you doing?
Chilling, man. I'm good. How are you?
I'm great, bro. Yeah, man, I see you doing a lot of great things out there, man.
Yeah, man, making those monopoly moves. No problem.
That's what I'm talking about, man. Now, let's get into this interview. So, how did you get into acting?
I got my start when I was young. My dad needed a handheld baby. He was a photographer. He was doing an ad for American Express, and he needed a handheld baby showing you could swipe your ATM at your American Express card at an ATM. He wound up using me. His friend got us a meeting with 4 modeling agencies, told him to get me into modeling. Modeling turned to commercials. Commercials turned to movie. And now here we are, 23 years later.
That's what I'm talking about. And what's crazy, I didn't even know you was in Louis and Isaiah, man. How did that come about?
Yeah, that was my first movie.
Wow.
After I started doing like commercials and everything, I got the audition, and I had to be put on tape for that movie like 8 times, man.
Okay.
And it came down to myself and Ross Bagley, and they wound up going with me for it, and then that was history.
That was a great movie right there. Now I seen you was in the Cosby Show. How was that feeling with Bill Cosby?
That was dope. I was young then too, but the experience from what I remember was cool. Cosby gave my dad a lot of advice with me and my career, and he kind of like mentored me in a sense when I was on set and things like that. So I think being on shows like that, being around people like that at such a young age, it helped me to have I guess you could say a long-lasting career.
Right. Now, being black, like certain roles, wouldn't you take, or would you take certain roles? How do you feel about, Hollywood and acting in general, like the stereotypical roles?
Well, like with me, I don't like playing stereotypical roles per se. I feel that everybody has their own type of stereotype though.
Right.
So with me, I just want to play different roles. That's the way that you don't get typecast. That's the way that you're able to be seen in more of a neutral light. But when you keep just settling for the same thing, after a while, you're only going to be able to be seen by those as that character. So, like, you just got to be selective, man. You got to be selective, and that's with everything in life. If you're not selective, if you don't make choices, people going to make them for you.
No doubt. Now, where did you grow up at? For the listeners, if they didn't know.
Bronx. I'm a Bronx boy.
Right.
I was born and raised in the Bronx, New York.
New York. That's what I'm talking about. We out here from Queens, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I feel you.
Now, when you got into the movie Get Rich or Die Tryin, how was that?
Oh, that was dope, man. When I got that joint, I was hyped. And then I was out in Canada with 50 for like a month before we even started shooting. Just like learning his mannerisms and seeing how he was, and just, I guess you could say mending with him, vibing with him, so I could get a better idea of who I was supposed to be portraying. And then that whole set experience was high because we shot in Toronto for like 3 months.
Wow.
No, longer than that, like 4 or 5 months.
Yeah, you definitely did a good role in that movie right there, man. It was very good.
I appreciate it.
Now, with Eddie Murphy, how was that in Haunted Mansion?
Oh, that was cool. That was a fun shoot. We was on set for like 7 months on that movie, and during the course of the shoot, I became good friends with Eddie's kids.
Okay.
Miles, Brea, Shane, even the little babies, Bella and Zola. And I started being around them a lot. I was at their house like every weekend. I would go over there and spend a week with them, going to different other celebrities' homes and stuff like that. I was doing stand-up at the time. Eddie used to come out and he would like mentor me, come support at my shows. And man, that movie opened up so many doors for me outside of, I guess you could say, the immediate industry, like as far as movie-wise. but just with those that were in the industry, they were able to like mentor me and help me shape and mold my career in a new light. So that movie actually, like just being on that set, it was a blessing.
Okay. Now, you know how some people say you get stuck in, you know, from a child actor to, you know, adult male or female? How do you know, face the odds with that?
It's all about being selective. You know, I had a lot of roles that were offered to me when I was making that transition from child to adult actor. And it's like sometimes you just got to be selective with those roles and say no matter how big the project is, no matter how much money they're offering, because sometimes it's not the right time to come back out. And one thing about the industry, it can be unforgiving sometimes. So I'd rather fall off the map for 2 years where you probably haven't seen me in a blockbuster in a year or two and then come back out when it's time and the movie is good and that way I'm accepted in a new light, than try to rush it, come out with a movie that doesn't do too well. And then that was like supposed to be my reintroduction as a man, and that movie flopped. So now they're looking at it like, we don't know if we're going to bank on Marc John. So it's all about just being patient, man. Everything happens in its due time as long as you play your cards right.
Okay. So did you do any stage plays growing up or like talent shows, anything of that nature?
I was on the Apollo. I went on the Apollo when I was like 6 years old.
Okay.
And then, like I said, I used to do comedy, so the Laugh Factory, Comedy Club, stuff like that. And then even Caesar's Pocono Palace and where was that at? I forgot what state that was. But I did Broadway. I used to do Broadway. I was on a play with Matthew Broderick, Parker Posey. It was directed by Alan Arkin, written by Elaine May. I was on Broadway with that project, and then I went on and did another project with Matthew right after that on Broadway. Well, actually, it was a play, but it was out in California called The Land. So, that gave me a lot of experience. Like, Broadway is no joke, man. It's time-consuming, and it demands a lot of you, but if you loyal to it, it'll shape you into a better actor.
Right. Now I see you was in Monster Inc., Finding Nemo. Now how does it go with the voiceovers?
The voiceovers are cool because you come in, you don't gotta worry about hair and makeup and camera and all of that stuff. You just come in, fresh voice. Sometimes you get the storyboard, sometimes you get a little animation beforehand, and you just work. You can listen to your choices, hear how that character is sounding, and it's actually a little bit easier because you don't have to have that emotion to match the voice. It's all about just making it sound like whatever you're trying to convey.
Right. Now, what's your regimen when you're, studying your lines and stuff of that nature?
I really don't have a regimen per se. Because I have a photographic memory, so like if I read a script once or twice, I remember that joint. So I don't really have a regimen. I would say that I focus on the character. I figure out what character I'm playing. I learn that character. Sometimes I'll do like little improv, or I'll walk around in the city or something and like get into the frame of mind of that character. So that way, when I'm on set, everything that I say and do just comes out in the light and the essence of that character.
Well said. Now, any roles that you really turned down, like you look at the script and you was like, that's not for me?
Yeah, there was a few. I'd rather not say which ones, but there was a few.
Right.
There was a few out there. It's just like, some roles just aren't you. And the people that's doing them, the producers, the director, they may feel that role is you. But I feel that, like, as an actor, after all, it is your career. It is your legacy. It is your background. So it's like, even if they feel that role is for you, if you don't naturally connect to that role, or you don't see that vision, then sometimes it's better to turn it down.
I feel you. Now, what are you currently working on right now?
I actually just got finished doing a movie called Brotherly Love. Queen Latifah's production company produced it, Flavor Unit. It's myself, Keke Palmer, Romeo, Malik Yoba, Logan Brown, and Nafisa Williams, Khalito McCullum. We got a nice cast. And we just got finished shooting that back in like October, November. I started working on a new movie in like 3 weeks called No Black Girls Please. I'm executive producer in my own TV show. We're still getting our network deal, trying to hunt that down, but it's called South Brooklyn. I'm executive producer my own short film that I'm going to submit to like all the festivals. That's called Strings Attached.
Right.
Then I'm working on another film right after No Black Girls Please called Between the Atlantic and Pacific. And then from there, I go on to do Kilroy Lives, which is another film that I'll be starring. So, like, man, my plate is full.
Yeah, I see you, man.
Right
You're definitely out there working and grinding.
Yeah, and I got my own acting school.
Oh, you do? Elaborate on that.
Yeah, I got my own acting school. Yeah, so pretty much I opened it last year. I teach out of Ripley Grid Studios in New York City, 528th Avenue. And I always wanted to be a teacher. And I got accepted to Fordham in Columbia for early childhood education, but I couldn't go because I was shooting Notorious.
Okay.
So my agent actually said, you should see if you teach an acting class. So I was like, that's actually a dope idea.
Right.
So then that's when I started to I guess you could say promote it and get the plan together and everything. And now it's booming. I have about 45 students in my Tuesday, Wednesday program, an additional 25 in my Saturday program. And when I'm in town, classes every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Saturday. And it's only $200 a month for 8 classes.
That's not bad right there. Now, you touched on education. How do you feel about education, as far as, the youth coming up? Does it go hand in hand with acting or, life in general?
Yeah, I mean, education, it goes hand in hand with everything. You can't be stupid in life and be successful. And if that happens, then you're just fortunate. And now when I say that, I'm not saying that if you don't go to college, like college not for everybody. I didn't go to college. Right. But my mom, she got 3 masters. My dad didn't finish college, but he owns several businesses and he's a movie producer. So I'm saying like basic education, the necessary education, high school, that's definitely a necessity in life. You need that. It just makes things easier when you know how things work and you know certain things that like are basic things. And then college is just one of those things, man, it's not for everybody, It's not for everybody. And if you're young and you're aspiring towards certain dreams, I'd rather be happy pursuing my dreams than be miserable in college. Because when you're miserable doing something, you're really not going to bring that attentiveness to it. You're really not going to go hard at it. You're really not going to grind at it. And when you're miserable and things aren't working the way that you want them to, man, you're going to give up in no time. And that could just do a lot to you, like, mentally. So I would say that if you're young and you have a realistic dream, once you get out of high school, pursue it. College may not be in your lesson plan,
I respect that, man. Well said. I respect that. Now, what was the most grueling, movie you ever did, as far as physically, mentally, to get the role done?
Oh, man, it was this movie that I did for Nickelodeon. It was on Nick Channel when I was, 14. It was called Crybaby Lane with Frank Langella. We shot in this deserted town that they shot, I think, The Exorcist or American, was it The Exorcist? I think it was The Exorcist, the first Exorcist. It was like this deserted town somewhere out in Jersey. Okay. Man, it was like negative 10 degrees, and we was outside. There's no heat, no electricity except the electricity from the company trucks. They had these big blowers out there, these heaters. Yo, it was freezing. And I had to be in there with a hoodie and a lightsaber doing some stupid chant. Yo, that was like the worst shoot. And then what made it worse, I was doing a movie called Hair Story with LaTanya Richardson Jackson at the time. So I was on set there from 8 a.m. to about 7 p.m. I left that set, got out to the shoot in Jersey at 8:30, 9 o'clock, and I was shooting there from 9 until about, I want to say, 7 the next morning. So you're talking about no sleep, freezing cold. That joint it was tough to get through that. I'm not even going to front.
Right. Now, let me ask you another question. With the acting, did you have to do any stunts in any of these movies, or you had any stunt doubles, or how does that go?
Yeah, I had to do a few stunts in the past, when I was on Third Watch, jumping from a fire escape. being shot at, getting tackled. When I was on Law and Order like 2-3 months ago, had to run from Mariska Hargitay's character, Olivia, get tackled, chained to the post. I had brotherly love. I had a few fighting scenes. Another one of my movies called My Brother's Keeper, I was cage fighting in that joint. So I had to do a few stunts, but they fun. They fun. Now, if they talk about something crazy, it's not going to happen because, you know, I like life. But if it's something that I can manage, I like doing it.
Now, Spider-Man 2, how was that?
That was cool. That was a real nice experience. I shot that out in Cali, and that was like a last-minute thing. They pretty much I went in, I auditioned while I was shooting The Haunted Mansion, and I got the call right after the audition. It was like, Marc, they want you to play a Maze Kid #1. So I was like, all right, cool. They told me when to shot, left set from The Haunted Mansion, went out to the financial district out in Cali, shot that joint in like 5-6 hours.
Okay. Now, how was it in California as far as working in the studios and the sets?
It's cool. A lot of the work is leaving California. It's cheaper to shoot in other states now. I necessarily don't like California because I'm a very laid-back, in-the-cut type of person, being from the Bronx. Being from, not even the Bronx, just being from New York.
Right.
And, you know, we're more adaptable. We like to be on the move, and, you know, when people acknowledge you, it's like, all right, cool, nice to meet you, and we keep it moving. But California is so big on image and what you have and who you know, and that's so far from me. So, like, I don't like going out there that much. I haven't been to Cali in about 3 or 4 years because, fortunately, all my projects have been shot in other places, and I've been casted for them out of other places. But the time is coming where I'm going to have to bite that bullet and take another trip out there.
Okay. Now, does it get kind of tedious? I mean, going from state to state, like, have you been out of the country doing movies?
Yeah, I've been out of the country a few times. Canada, you know, Quebec, even though that's still Canada.
Right.
Never nowhere crazy, though. I remember I was supposed to go to, like, South Africa to do a Band-Aid brand commercial because I used to be the spokesperson, and I was supposed to go to New Zealand for another one. But fortunately, something got moved around, and they wound up shooting in Quebec instead.
Okay. Now,
and
Stuart Little.
But I don't count.
Right. Now, Stuart Little, how was that experience?
Man, that was hot because that movie shot right here in New York City. That was like my first movie shooting home, big budget that I shot at home. So it was like an experience of being home but being on the set at the same time. Me and Jonathan Lipnicki, we became close and everything. And actually, the way that I got to Haunted Mansion is because the director on Stuart Little 2, Rob Minkoff, he was doing pre-production for Haunted Mansion. Okay. He was like, Marc, I think you would be good to play Michael Evers. I want you to come in, meet with us, and we want to, you know, talk to you about the role. So I went in, I met with them. They put me on the spot with a cold read for Michael, tore the cold read up, and they offered me the role right there.
Okay, that's what's up. Now, working with Samuel Jackson and Cuba Gooding and Jessica Lange in Big Mama House, like father, like son, how was that?
Well, I don't really remember working with Sam and them because I was young in that project. I was moving Isaiah when I worked with them. I was young. But from what I'm told, I had a good experience on that set. But Big Momma's House was dope because I had seen Martin a lot. I used to be at Martin's house a lot, being with the Murphys. We would always go over there, chill in this movie theater, eat up all his candy and stuff like that. And then actually working with him, because when I first met him, he was like, yeah, we're going to work together one day. And I was like, all right, cool. And then we worked together on Big Momma's House. So it was a cool experience. And then he was like, yo, next time you're out in Cali, you got to come to the house. And I was like, all right, I got you. But I haven't been out there in 4 years. So, Martin, if you're listening, when I come out there, just make sure you have the movie theater set up and make sure you have all that candy all in the same places that you're used to. And we're going to watch some movies and eat some candy.
Okay, now, dealing with comedians like Eddie Murphy and Martin Lawrence, how did you not laugh on the set? You know, like, was it all serious business or, you know, you laugh, you know, while you're doing the movie? How does that go?
Nah, man, they had me rolling. I'm not even going to lie. Like, it's hard to crack me on set. I'm normally very focused and things like that. But those are two dudes that you don't know what they're going to say. You don't know what to expect from them. So sometimes it's so hard to just stay in character.
Right. Okay. Now, working with Tracy Morgan on the Tracy Morgan Show, how was that?
That was cool. That was a nice experience because, you know, Tracy's from the Bronx too, and he actually know my father from growing up. So being on that set was real. It was real family oriented. Everybody was real close knit. We had a real good show. I wish the show could have lasted because I felt like we had something special there. But, you know, that was a great experience as well.
Right. Now, working with Ellen Degeneres, how was that?
I didn't get to work with Ellen, like, hand in hand. Because I would record my stuff for Squirt, and then she had already recorded her stuff for Dory beforehand. So I didn't get to work with her hand in hand, but I did meet her, and she's a great person. She's a sweetheart. Okay.
Now, you say you worked with Queen Latifah. How was that experience?
Working with Queen was cool. I actually met Queen on Brown Sugar back when I played Young Dre on Brown Sugar.
Yeah, I heard of that.
I met her then, and yeah, she was real nice from then. But you know, working for her, it was a cool experience. She makes sure that everybody is taken care of on the set, and that's one thing that I like. And it's not always material; it's just simple things like just being personable and relatable to people's situations, and that's something that a lot of producers and things lack. But it's necessary in a business because when you create good relationships with those that you're working with, it goes a long way.
That's definitely the truth right there. Now, working with Megan Good, how was that? And Common?
Yeah, it was dope. I actually met Megan a few years back at the premiere for The Haunted Mansion. And, you know, she was real nice. And I was going to do Roll Bounce before Malcolm Lee decided to direct it. And then Malcolm went with an older cast, so he cast Val and Megan and stuff like that. But I was going to be a part of that project. And then Common was dope, man. I was surprised at how dedicated he is to the craft. And a lot of people don't realize that Common is making a come up in this industry, like acting-wise. He's been in a couple of good movies. Yeah. He's been in a couple of good movies. So, like, seeing his ascent, it's hot.
Right. Now, did you dibble and dabble into the music industry? Because, you know, a lot of time actors, you know, they dibble and dabble into acting, sports. Like, what are your hobbies and activities?
My hobbies and activities, basketball player. That's definitely one. Like, ball player, I'll do that all day, every day. Get this work. I box, MMA. I love MMA, mixed martial arts.
Okay.
I cook my butt off. Cook every chance that I get. Crochet, believe it or not, I learned how to crochet on the set. Started doing it to pass time and stuff. I had to stop though because I started doing it too much and started putting on weight from not getting out. But man, I'm one of those people, like, when it comes to activities, I'm real chill. Like, I'm down for whatever. I can have fun doing anything as long as I got the right people around me.
Okay. Now, acting, you know, how is your diet regimen? I mean, you know, you got to stay fit, like you said. But, you know, is that real vital and important when you're acting? You know, eating right?
Yeah, it is. Because, you know, eating right, it can control all kinds of things, like your mood, your energy level, and then putting on weight. Me, I don't have a fast metabolism naturally. And, you know, I'm pretty muscular. So if I start eating too crazy, it started turning, that fat started building over my muscle, and then I just looked like a little fat round thing. So I got to be careful. For Notorious, I had to put on weight, then I dropped it. Then for Brother's Keeper, I had to get like a little buff, brolic. So now I got my weight up a little bit. So I try to eat right when I can, but at the end of the day, I'm a fat dude at heart, man. I'm not even going to lie. I'm not even going to front.
Yeah, I think everybody is. Now, HBO Treme, how was that?
Oh, Treme, that joint was hot. That shot out in New Orleans. I love that city, man. They vibe out there. It's dope. It's crazy how they still recovering from Hurricane Katrina all this time, like so long, so far after. They still recovering. And, you know, sad to say, some have forgot what that community has experienced. And
yeah, it was traumatic.
Some of it is understandable because, you know, there's been other traumatic events that's happened after that, but like just to see how strong and resilient that city and, you know, New Orleans is, to still be putting up that fight and getting better, taking steps ahead. It was crazy. And then there's just so much culture and artistic and creativeness and things like that in that town, and their food is dope. I went there, man, I lost my mind. Crawfish, them boiled crawfish with the potatoes and corn and the other, man, what?
Yeah, I never tried it before. I'm not a real big seafood fan, but, you know, is it the same thing as, like, shrimp?
Nah, it got its own texture, like, it got its own taste. It's like a mixture of shrimp and crab or lobster, but it's like sweeter. It's a little sweeter, like the meat is a little sweeter.
Okay, now I see you was nominated for the Young Artist Award. Could you elaborate on that?
Oh yeah, that came from I got one nomination from the Haunted Mansion and another one from the Tracy Morgan Show, and that was just dope. You know, I'm glad they acknowledged some of my efforts at staying, working in the industry, and that was that. Like, awards and nominations, those are just blessings, man. That's something that comes along with the craft if you're devoted to it. And like I said, you got to give things its due time, and I guess it was my time that year.
Okay. See a lot of listeners listening out there. If you want to talk to Marc Jefferies, press 1. We live. We rocking out right now. But yeah, man. Now, do you do any charity work, like far as, you know, foundations, anything?
Yes, I actually do. I work with an organization called Kids with a Cause, and I was working with them for a long time from when I was younger. And, you know, we do a lot of charity work. We go out to different hospitals and schools and give away certain things. I also work with the James Brown Foundation, the James Brown Family Artist Foundation, and we do charity work with them. We have events for children and less fortunate areas and things like that. I go visit schools, give giveaways to schools, and I actually start working with this organization. It's called Seaball, and it's a Bronx community organization that's starting to grow and picking up steam. We just had a celebrity game not too long ago, and that's a organization that I'm working with now, doing some, you know, a little bit of charity work.
Okay, now I definitely respect, you know, your craft, you know, excuse me, all the movies you did, you know, you're very articulate with the films. We got a caller, 562-644, you on the line. Let's get it.
What's good, Dirty Solo? I see you making major moves, sir.
What's good, man? How you doing?
Much, man. Just calling in to show some quick support. You know how it goes.
Okay. Yeah, we rocking out with Marc Jefferies, man.
Mr. Jefferies. I recognize that voice anywhere, man. I done seen Get Rich or Die Tryin' like a million times.
Yeah.
Oh.
What you got going? What you got going on right now?
Well, right now it was at dinner, hitting up a few different spots. You know, Super Bowl weekend, but got a little minute, so I'm chilling. I don't start working on my next project for another 3 weeks, so I'm just scheduling a lot of meetings and handling business and stuff like that until that movie starts shooting.
You dabbling in the hip hop industry? You just like keeping it more like professional acting?
I mean, I rap, but I do it for fun. I had a chance
you rap?
to have 2 different deals. Yeah.
What?
I had a chance at 2 different deals, but that's not my thing. You know, I do it for fun. It's just a way of creativity, expressing certain thoughts, ideas that I had, and I leave it as that. I'll leave that for the professionals.
Okay.
Right.
Okay. There's a lot that are not professionals, but they're still professionals. So I mean, you can still do that on the side.
That's true. You got a point there.
You got like a YouTube or SoundCloud page where we can hear the music?
Nah, I don't.
No.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I just did it for fun, so I never really put anything out. It's just stuff that I recorded, and the only thing that I had out was the letter from my dad. When my dad popped his Achilles. That got a little play.
Oh,
but
yeah, I peeped that on YouTube. Okay.
Yeah. Yup, other than that, nothing else.
Now,
I might put something out soon, though.
Okay.
Keep it. Shoot it. When you do it, shoot it to the Droians. Remember that name, the Drodians. So we want to hear that first.
All right, bet. I got you.
Yeah, Killer Ron, he got a podcast. I mean, check out Drodian.com when you get a chance. Now, let me ask you a question about the Grammys. How do you feel about that? Do you think we could outright, do, especially with, actors like...
You said, do I think I could have what?
No, I said with, like, actors, do you think we get a fair shot?
Not really.
Keeping it real. That's what I'm talking about.
Not really. I'm going to be real. Nah, not really.
Yeah, we keep it 100 on this show. You know what I'm saying?
Word. I feel you. I don't think so. I mean, there's a lot of talented people that I've seen out there that haven't gotten recognition yet, and they deserve it a lot more than people that's getting this recognition. So, that's what it is, though, man. That's what it is. That's why I'm trying to change the game.
Yeah, I see already. Now, I don't like calling out names, but, I mean, hey, it's common fact. Like, all right, say, for instance, Denzel Washington. When he, what was that movie, Killer Ron, he was in? When he was playing the crooked cop. Man.
Training Day?
Yeah, Training Day. Now, I heard he got an award for that movie, and a lot of people's like, that role he played. I could call out a lot of actors or actresses. Do you think, like you said, it's real bias, but if you play a prominent role, it usually don't get no recognition. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah, I agree.
So that's how I feel, man.
Word.
Real talk. But yeah, man, we rocking out with Marc Jefferies. Anybody want to talk, press 1. Killer Ron still on the line.
Yes, sir.
Now, let me ask you some more questions. Now, the Justice League, how was that?
Oh, yeah. That was hot. I got the call for that. They just offered it to me, and I did the voice of the young Green Lantern along with Dakota Fanning. So that was a hot little show that we did. I was always a fan of superheroes and things like that, so to actually do the voice of one was dope.
Yeah, that's nice right there.
Yeah.
Real talk. Now, as far as HBO, like all these syndicated television shows, this and that, which one do you prefer better? Do you like TV or do you like film better?
I like film better because the part of the craft that I like is being able to play different characters. That the continuous changing and adaptation and challenging your skills to become different people. When you do TV, you got to play that same character over and over again if it's on the same show. But like with film, it's sometimes better for your career. It helps you to have a longer lasting career. If you make your choices wisely, you avoid getting typecast. And it's just more of a challenge for me because I'm given different things.
Okay. Now, your current career today, right? What are you trying to achieve? Like, far as, like I did it. Like I got to this big, platform with a movie. Like what would be the pinnacle? Like, of your career?
I never really thought about that much. I would say that something that I want to do is star in a movie where I'm the lead and that I can show my dramatic abilities because I haven't been able to show my full range of dramatic abilities since losing Isaiah to this day. So I think when that happens, I'm going to shock a lot of people. And, like, with me personally, I just feel that I'm not successful yet. Because being successful is continued success.
Right. I agree with you.
So that means that I got to keep doing it. So when I could look back and I'm 60, 70 years old and I'm looking back at a 50-year career and saying, dang, I was doing it for that long and I was successful for this long, that's success to me.
Right.
If I'm acting when I'm 20 and then doing something else when I'm 30 because I had to get out of it because I wasn't getting no jobs, then in my eyes, I was never successful.
Okay, so do you rather take dramatic roles or comedy?
Dramatic. That's my love. That's my passion right there. I'll take comical roles, because like I said, it's always good to keep that variety so you avoid getting typecast. But dramatic is my natural draw. Like, that's my first inclination.
Okay, so say for instance, I'm gonna give you a scenario. You know, like a love scene and this and that in nature. Did you have to do any of them scenes, and also like have you declined them scenes?
Yeah, I declined a few movies that had some crazy love scenes in it in the past, and it was just because I wanted to keep a cleaner cut image, and
right.
I didn't want to, you know, that's for an older person. So I wasn't trying to be the little dude that was hitting some chick off in this movie. I'd rather be, you know, acknowledging my work, you know?
Right.
And then once I become a man, okay, roles like that are going to come along, and I might have to take those roles because that's a part of the movie, but I'm a man now, so that it's seen in a different light. But when you're younger, it's unnecessary. So I declined a lot of those in the past, but I actually got this, I wouldn't call it a love scene. It's just like a straight sex scene, raw dog, and brotherly love. Where,
like Monsters Ball or something like that?
Something like that. I ain't naked, though. You know, I just got my shirt pulled over my head. But see the movie, you're going to see what I'm talking about. I can't say too much, but it's a love scene. Something like that.
Now, when you was talking about your company, elaborate to the people more. Like, how could they contact you and stuff of that nature? Okay, well,
actually, the number for my acting school is 646-238-0605. And that's my assistant's cell phone number. So you can either call it and talk to him about it, or you can either text him as well, or you can email at markjohnactingclass@gmail.com, MARCJOHN actingclass@gmail.com, or just hit me up on my Twitter or my Instagram. My Instagram is MJJ_John, and my Twitter is MarkJohnJ, MARCJOHNJ.
Okay, because I definitely followed you on Twitter. I'm at Dirty Solo, so you'll see me on there.
Okay.
But yeah, any closing words for the people?
Man, yeah, for the people, I just want to say thanks for all your continued support, man. And one way that I look at it is that as long as I'm doing things like this, then that means that people out there are still supporting me, and that right there is a blessing. And I acknowledge y'all for that, because without that, I wouldn't be where I'm at today. And one of my main things is, I always tell this to people, and it's especially like remembering where you came from. The thing that stabilizes a tree, no matter how big that tree gets, is its roots. And the tree grows from its roots up. And if a tree forgets its roots or don't have those roots, that tree falls. So with me, something that I'm going to always do, no matter how big I get, is remember my roots so I stay grounded. Because without that,
man. I respect that.
All they can yell is timber.
Now, Killer Ron, you got any more questions?
No, man. Wisdom on the mic. That's what's up. I'm definitely going to play it on the podcast once I get to it.
Definitely,
Appreciate it, Ron. Appreciate it.
And we're here to support, too, man. So anytime you got an update, movie, you want to, debut something on the show, we here, man. Hit us up at Shut 'Em Down Radio. We here, bro.
Definitely.
We
I'll
support.
make sure I do that, bro. Appreciate
you already
it, man.
know, man. Marc Jefferies, man, in the building, man. Go support his movie and check him out, man. It was a pleasure, man. Thanks for calling up, man.
Definitely a pleasure. No problem.
All right. Peace.
Later.
Yeah, we just rocked out with Marc Jefferies. Google him. You already know he was in Get Rich or Die Tryin', numerous movies, Losing Isaiah. It was a great interview.